It had been just a few weeks since Robert had stood by Elizabeth's side as she had given her great speech to the troops at Tilbury Fort. What was left of the Spanish Armada was retreating, but there was still the threat of an attack by the Spanish from the Duke of Parma. Tilbury Fort guarded the eastern approach to London on the Thames, and Dudley was to mobilize a military contingent of around 12,000 to 17,000 men to keep that area safe should anything happen. Elizabeth had originally wanted to ride out and face the Duke herself as he landed on the south coast, but Dudley had urged her to come to Tilbury instead and raise the morale of the troops. And so, she did, even at the protestations of her council. Much of what happened during her visit has become legend. What she wore, what she said, who was there. Some say she rode into the camp with the Earl of Ormond in front, carrying the sword of state, followed by 2 pages dressed in white velvet. The Earl of Essex, Robert Dudley's stepson, and Dudley to either side of Elizabeth, and Sir John Norris to the rear. Dudley had been by her side, like he had been so many times over the past nearly 30 years. The speech Elizabeth gave that day has become one of the defining moments in British history. While standing in front of the men, she told them, "My loving people, I know I have the body of a weak and feeble woman, but I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too, and think foul scorn that Parma or Spain or any prince of Europe should dare to invade the borders of my realm, to which rather than any dishonor shall grow by me, I myself will take up arms. I myself will be your general, judge, and rewarder of every one of your virtues in the field." A week later, on August 17th, 1588, the camp was ordered to be disbanded. Dudley left for London. Victory celebrations abounded, and he ate dinner every night with Elizabeth. It was almost what it had been when she had first become queen. But it was to be short-lived. Dudley had had health problems for some time, and so left for Kenilworth Castle, the castle that Elizabeth had given him, and then to Buxton, where he would take the medicinal waters. It was Dudley's stomach that was bothering him. And on the way, he stopped, and it was there he would pen his final letter to his longtime childhood friend, Elizabeth. "I most humbly beseech your majesty to pardon your poor old servant, to be thus bold in sending to know how my gracious lady doth, and what ease of her late pains she finds, being the chiefest thing in this world I do pray for her to have good health and long life. For my own poor case, I continue still your medicine, and find that it amends much better than any other thing that hath been given to me, thus hoping to find perfect cure at the bath, with the continuance of my wonted prayer for your majesty's most happy preservation. I humbly kiss your foot. From your old lodging at Rycote, this Thursday morning, ready to take on my journey, by your majesty's most faithful and obedient servant, R. Leicester." He would only travel a few miles further, where he had to stop at his hunting lodge near Oxford. A raging fever set in, and 6 days later, Robert Dudley, the first Earl of Leicester, died early in the morning on September 4th, 1588. He was 54 years old. While the country was celebrating the victory over the Spanish Armada, Elizabeth had lost one of her dearest friends, and possibly her one true love. She had called him her eyes, her sweet Robin. It was said that she shut herself in her room for days, until the door had to be broken down by one of her counselors. Robert had requested to be buried in the Beachamp chapel at St. Mary's Collegiate Church in Warwick, where his young son had earlier been laid to rest. In his will, he asked that his funeral be with as little pomp or vain expense of the world as may be. And so, on the 5th of October, a procession left from Kenilworth Castle. His body was followed by his chief mourner and stepson, the Earl of Essex. As requested, his funeral service was quite ordinary, especially considering his rank and accomplishments. Dudley was finally laid to rest on October 10th, 1588. He left Elizabeth a string of pearls in his will. Elizabeth kept the last letter Dudley wrote her in a special keepsake box near her bed, labeled "His Last Letter," until the day she died.